second. It's preparing to live stream. I don't think Jamie is going to be able to catch us. He's doing some errands. All right. Okay, then we are live on YouTube. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating on this Afro-Brazilian cultural project by Caramu House, which is sponsored by Cleveland Arts and Culture. And this is the last one of my residency. So thank you very much. I am really honored for all your presences. And let's maybe start introducing some of the participants today. Is Marcos Santos there? Not yet. Hello, Diego Figueiredo. Hi, Diego. Do you want to, I'm going to unmute Diego Figueiredo. So, Diego, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Moises, I need you to accept again the cell phone. We just drop off.
I did. Sorry. Thank you. All right, Diego.
Moises, there is a way that you can put everyone on the screen. Like there is a way you can see everyone. Because I can see just you right now. So
really? How about now? I can see everybody. Maybe you can go to on the top of your screen on the right side, there is a speaker view, or maybe there is some few dots. You can see everybody when you click on that on the top of the screen.
Let's see here. Zoom.
On top of the screen, on the right corner.
Okay.
Get it?
No, I can't. But anyway, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll start getting everybody else introduced as well.
Okay, so it's nice to be here. This crazy moment in the world. Now we have to recreate ourselves. Huh? It's a very delicate moment in the world right now. I am in Brazil right now. I left the United States maybe 2 months ago, at the beginning of the pandemic of COVID. So, and I decided to come to Brazil to spend this time here in my hometown in Franca, São Paulo. And I am waiting for all this crazy moment. But I decided to record 2 new albums during this 2 months free, like with no concerts, no projects, nothing. And I started to compose songs and decided to record in this moment. But today, this conference is about Afro-Brazilian rhythm. So I'd say I love the Afro rhythms. One of my albums that I recorded in 2008 in Copenhagen, in Denmark, is a tribute to Baden-Powell with the Afro sambas that he recorded. He composed with Vinicius de Moraes. So I really like that album. And I recorded that album with one of the greatest drummers of this rhythm, that's Robertinho Silva. And so I'd say that's one of the most specific things that I have about Afro-Brazilian rhythms. So yeah, it's just an introduction, and
thank you, Diego.
Talk with the other guys.
And also we have Patrick. Are you there, Patrick? It's another panelist. Yes, Patrick, I can see you. Patrick? I can hear you though. While you fix your audio, let's try Marco Santos, another panelist. Marco Santos is one of the greatest drummers and drumline, I'd say, conductors that I've ever met, and he keeps spreading that idea throughout the country. Hello, Marcos. Would you like to say hello, introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hey, it's so good to see so many familiar faces. Look at that. Nice. I thought it was a drinking Zoom, a drinking party. Where's the cachaça?
Not yet.
Oh, there you go. Pato tá aí. Do you see my shirt?
Yeah. Salvador.
Vitorinha.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say now?
Say your name and what your experience and why you're here to talk about Afro-Brazilian rhythms.
Oh, Mark is originally from Salvador, but have been living here for almost 18, 19 years. And I started like mixing world rhythms into a template of blocos Afro to create new arrangements. And we started doing, now it's kind of normal. We started doing like a long time ago. And yeah, it's been fun. Got a chance to meet a lot of people from a lot of places. And thank you, Moisés, for the invitation to be here. And yeah, looking forward to sharing and learning and hearing from everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. We also have Nani Assis, one of the most famous percussionists around. Hello, Nani. How are you doing? Maybe you want to
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Just put your hands up.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Awesome, great. It's really great to be here too, and awesome to see everybody. Marco Santos, my brother Marco Santos. I'm on my cell phone here, so I can see only 3 people at the time, but I see so many faces. Jim, I'm not gonna say the name of everybody, but yeah, my name is Nani Assis. I'm not sure about the famous thing, but I've been working as a percussionist for my whole life. And I come from Salvador, Bahia, and right next to my house, there was a church, or I would say a terreiro, which is, they play almost every day, those rhythms, those Afro-Brazilian rhythms. And I got a lot of experience on here experience about that. I have no much knowledge of the instruction of the rhythm, but of course by here my whole youth years, you just get in your bloodstream the rhythms, and I can recognize those things. And one thing that struck me so much is all of the rhythms is connect with invoke an entity or sand. And we can go through this vein, but basically we can find the same rhythms all over South America. In Cuba, Central America, you hear the same rhythms because it's connected with their religion, right? So it's an amazing thing to study. But yeah, we all use those rhythms, and sometimes we don't even know what is the scent they invoke, or I don't invoke any scent because I'm not part of the religion, but it's really beautiful. It's so rich. It's absolutely amazing to be able to incorporate all these influences, our influence on these rhythms. And like Mark said, that's what we do. We mix everything.
And you grew up listening to those rhythms, which inspired you to pursue a career as a percussionist?
Yeah, so basically I can say that. I just can say that because my father was a priest. He's a Baptist priest that we live next to a terreiro, the Afro church, I would say. And I could listen to the hymns from the Bibles and everything. And then during the night and some afternoons on Saturday, we can hear all those rhythms from next door. So it's basically the whole world over there, right? So
Very nice.
well,
Yeah.
you got used to it. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Nani, very much.
Welcome.
Is Patrick back in? Not yet. Let me get Dylan. Dylan, please say hello, introduce yourself. Let's keep our introduction a little brief because we have quite a few panelists today. So we have, otherwise we're going to kill an hour just introducing ourselves.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Just listening to everyone speak so far makes me, it brings up a lot of ideas to touch on, but I want to say thanks to Marcus because Marcus was my way in. The first or the second one of his groups to be formed in the United States, playing Afro-Brazilian rhythms was Samba Joia, which happened in Cleveland, which I now lead over a decade later. And I think something really important about not growing up with it, because Nani, you were just saying about being able to hear these rhythms from your house. And I remember the first trip that I took to Brazil, I was in Pelourinho, and there's the main city, and then I was staying right outside, and 6 o'clock came and it got dark, and all of a sudden I hear, I start hearing Olodum rehearsing across the way. And it makes me realize that, you know, when it's a part of your community, when it's a part of your blood in a sense, and it's around you all the time, you come to embody those rhythms. Now, where I was when I met Marcus and actually Moises, was I was at the Cleveland Institute of Music studying classical percussion, which I still pursue a career in. So coming from that world and being in these infectious rhythms from Bahia, you know, through Marcus, it really is a bit of a clash of cultures and mentality of feeling and hearing and understanding of the music. And so ever since that moment, I've been trying to embody the rhythms as much as I can, but I always am influenced the most by those who grew up with it and embody those rhythms themselves. And so I'm very appreciative to all of you who come from Brazil and play this music so beautifully. And I hold you all in very, very high regard. And I'm happy to be here and offer whatever I can.
Nice. Thank you very much, Dylan. And who else is there? Ana Paula joins with Fabio Gomez. Can you hear us, Ana Paula? Hello, Claire.
Yes, we can hear you and we can talk now. Can you hear us?
Yes.
That's good. So my name is Ana Paula Jones. I am from Roots of Traditions Institute, a nonprofit organization that exists for 23 years now. And I am just going to be translating my husband, Fabio Gomes. So I'm going to pass the word to him.
Hello, friends. Eu vi uma camisa do Bahia aí, né? Então, aumentando essa nação nordestina.
So he saw a T-shirt from Bahia, and he's showing the T-shirt of the flag of Pernambuco, Northeast Brazil, where he's from.
Ana Paula, sua câmera é essa que você está olhando, é essa câmera que está aparecendo aqui no vídeo. So ele pode mostrar, he can show the shirt to this camera instead of the other one.
You should, Fabio is watching to the computer. So the other camera is, you should stop on the.
The Zoom follows the audio, and the audio is coming from this one, so he got to show to this one.
I have it to organize a little bit. So we have to look at it. Okay, perfect. So Fabio just showed the T-shirts of Pernambuco.
Fabio, please say something about your experience with the Brazilian rhythms so we can introduce you to this community.
Quer falar pouco da sua experiência com os ritmos brasileiros, então fala pouco pra gente.
Então, eu acho que quero começar falando pouco das minhas referências, né, inicialmente, para entender essa conexão com o mundo.
I'd like to talk a little bit first about my essence, my origin. So I can talk a little bit from my relation from this place to the world.
Eu venho de uma escola que é a do Naná Vasconcelos.
I studied with Naná Vasconcelos. I come from his school.
E aqui em Pernambuco existem muitos mestres e esse contato com os músicos do mundo, né, que vão estudar ritmos brasileiros também, terminam aportando, chegando em Pernambuco.
So because I come from that school and come from that state, a lot of musicians and percussionists from all over the world, because of Naná Vasconcelos, somehow arrived also in Pernambuco.
E aí um outro mestre que eu gostaria de destacar é o Antônio José Madureira e o Antúlio Madureira, da música armorial.
And also from armorial music, we have two other very important masters, Antúlio Madureira
E Antônio José.
and Antônio José Madureira, from the armorial
A
movement.
música do Ariano Suassuna.
The music from Ariano Suassuna, the xilogravuras, our reference of Pernambuco and of Pernambuco tradition.
Então, a partir desses seres, eu comecei a compreender a música para além do meu território, do meu espaço, justamente pelo contato e influência de outras pessoas que vinham trabalhar com ele, que vinham participar dos nossos ensaios de contato conosco.
So because of the contact with these masters, a lot of people from all over the world will come and join them in their shows or to be surround them. So because of that, I start open my territory and my region and start thinking about the world or having contact with the world.
Então, para além das manifestações culturais, que aí eu venho de afoxé, maracatu de baque virado, de escola de samba, sou iniciado desde pequeno organo e lu, que é o tocador de tambor.
So my background, my origin as a child, as a kid, I come from maracatu, baque virado, the beat, afoxé, frevo,
samba,
samba, all these Afro-Brazilian cultural living expressions.
Coco de roda.
E
para generalizar, para fechar esse ciclo assim de ritmistas, né, uma das grandes formações é ser organo, né?
So I am Oganilu. I am blessed in the tradition of Afro-Brazilian tradition from Pernambuco, the religion Xangô.
Então participei de muitas gravações, cerca de 50 discos, né, faixas, e a partir dessa ligação com estúdio, músicas, pessoas, comecei a observar um sentimento muito grande pela percussão, né, vista pelos olhos de quem nunca conhecia a nossa realidade cultural, que ficava encantado, para além do ritmo, ficava encantado com os sentimentos. Então, para mim, a minha grande motivação de passar a percussão para estrangeiros e para outras pessoas em lugares onde eu já dei aula, era muito mais pelo contato do sentimento, de passar o que esse tambor passa, transmite aos nossos corações.
Ficou muito longo para a Ana Paula traduzir.
So he's saying that he used to play for years with Naná and with the Madureira family. His first kid.
Naná Vasconcelos.
Naná Vasconcelos and Antúlio Madureira from the armorial movement. So because he used to be from their band, participate in their shows, foi quase 8 anos, né? 8 years playing with them as their percussionist. A lot of people from all over the world will come to play in their CDs. So Fabio played in almost 50 different songs with these masters. So what he's saying that touched him in his heart was like these people would come, be impressed by the rhythms because they are unknown sometimes. They are known, like I think Marco said that there are some in Cuba, in Latin America, in Central Africa, blah, blah, but in Pernambuco, there are some slight different beats and different rhythms. And then what will touch him was like the emotion. People will get inspired by the rhythm, but also inspired by the feeling that this kind of music path, like if you listen to Frevo for the first time, if you listen to Maracatu and you see a parade, so it's not just the rhythm, but the feeling, the sensation, the emotion that these kind of rhythms pass to the audience.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Marcos and Ana Paula. Let's move on with the introduction. We have a lot of great people. There is, for example, Mestre Beisola. Hello, Mestre. How are you? do you want to say hello, introduce yourself? I know you teach Brazilian, African Brazilian percussion classes too, right? Is that correct?
Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, good.
Master Pessoa is one of the most important masters of capoeira that I know in the United States and in the world. So you guys know.
Okay. Okay, so pretty much my introduction to percussion was through capoeira, because we started to do capoeira and ended up like learning percussion. But when you do capoeira, also we have a party. So then we learn somebody harder, right? And then I was really lucky to be in Rio de Janeiro when the whole like pagode thing was happening, the Fundo de Quintal was happening. So I was lucky to be at that time with all the musicians. So that's when everything started to go to different level. And then 1978, I paraded in Imperatriz Leopoldinense in the bateria, playing tamborim in the bateria. And then I came to the United States. When I came to the United States, I realized how important the Brazilian culture is, not only capoeira, music, and dance, And then I came so eager to give people knowledge. So I brought all the instruments from pagode, tantã, repique de mão, everything. And then more people was interested. And then I have my own samba school here in San Francisco. We have a carnival here. So my wife was crazy because only inside my house, I have 20 surdos, okay, just surdo. So it means 30 repiniques, 40 tamborins. So we have the whole samba school. We paraded in San Francisco. My group's called Brasil Vedas. We paraded in San Francisco for many years. So you're not gonna see me in percussion in terms of recording stuff because I'm like outside doing. So I teach percussion, I teach capoeira, I teach dance. Because that's some very important phrase that João Nogueira said, Cantar samba é privilégio. It's a privilege, to play samba because you don't learn that at school. You grow up in the neighborhood and everything happened, So cantar samba é privilégio. So I'm really glad that I was born in a place that has so much music. So today I pretty much teach music, capoeira, dance. As you can see, my corner here have like a whole bunch of some percussion instruments back there. Not only Brazilian percussion, but even from India. I don't know if you guys know this one, Uganda. So, I'm glad to be here. We can go for Brazil. Ali no Candomblé. So, and I need to say thank you to so many people. For example, Conga, I learned with beside capoeira. There's a very important person Luis Bocanha, because when I came to the United States, I came performing Oba Oba. So in that, different places have different teachers. Like Luis Bocanha sat down with me in New York. We didn't perform Broadway. So, and then like all day have nothing to do. He sit down, got 3 capoeiristas and taught how to play congas, all the candomblé stuff I learned from there. So Mestre Biquinho taught me how to play tamborim in Imperatriz Leopoldinense. So now, because I didn't have like a formal school, I have so many teachers, and the only way that I have to say thank to them is just spread the culture and give everything that I give that I know to everybody. Thank you, Master Beisola.
Thank you, Master Beisola, very much. We are glad you're here with us today. And also, I'd like to introduce Alex Bordocas. How do you pronounce your name? Alex is in Toronto with the Maracatu. Hello, Alex. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Oi, tudo bom? Yeah, I'm with Maracatu Maraberto in Toronto. And we study Maracatu de baque virado also. My lineage is with Estrela Brilhante do Recife and a lot of música pernambucana with a lot of other Afro-Brazilian traditions also. So thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Patrick Duke. I think Patrick is having trouble with his microphone.
Hey, Moises, Patrick is in touch with me. He said his audio, he's watching from YouTube, but let me see if I can have him come on the camera.
Okay. Ah,
Yeah, he's about 30 seconds behind.
how about
Um,
Pato Erie? Is Pato there? I can see
And-
Patrick.
and if
Pato,
Patrick starts talking,
Pato, could you say hello, introduce yourself? Let's keep
I'm
it.
here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Can everybody
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see a bunch of family faces. So cool. Thank you, Moises, for inviting me to be part of this. I'm gonna try to do a little introduction. When I started, the first time I heard the drums was similar to Nani. The Nani is that was living in a neighborhood. I'm from Salvador, Bahia, too. I grew up in Flamboyantes, bem na paralela, in front da paralela, beside Jorge Amado University. And back in those days, it was a samba reggae band there inside the neighborhood that was called Yorubande. And I was 5 years old and I grew up listening to those guys. And it was a similar time that was the whole explosion of Olodun and samba reggae around the world, right? So I grew up listening to that, and that was basically my inspiration. I kind of how to teach myself listening to those rhythms and play for I didn't have drums back then, but I would play my legs on a table or anywhere and I would drive my mom nuts, right? And until at 11 years old we moved to live in Chile, and that I created my first group over there. We became very popular playing all those rhythms from Bahia. And at some point we had more than 400 drummers playing carnivals and stuff like that. It used to be a well-known group called Pachabatu, which means land of the drums. And after that, 2008, I moved to Toronto, Canada. And I met a lot of people. There's a bunch of groups here. There's a couple samba groups. There's Maracatu, like Alex. Alex, my buddy, is there. And I remember it was a surprise when I show up here because nobody was doing samba reggae like from Bahia, right? And I put together a group, and it's been on for a while now. We have done a bunch of stuff. We have worked with a bunch of people. We have brought Mestre Memeo of Olodum. We have brought Maestrina Adriana Portela from Banda de Dashi has been here too. We put together a show, only all women bloco, to do that show with her. Also, I remember, Moises, when we brought Memeo, that was the day we met, right? You and Dylan. You guys
Yes,
traveled from
yes.
Cleveland
it was amazing. We were very happy to be there. Thanks again, man.
to do a special workshop with Mestre Memeo. And that was a contact from Marco, right? You guys were in touch with Marco from Vancouver. And yeah, pretty much I've been playing samba reggae for over almost, I would say, today, I would say 23 years. You know, I've been represented the samba reggae flag out of Brazil with projects in Chile and Canada. I have done workshops in different places. I was invited to do a workshop for Tambores do Mundo. Marcos, you were there. You went to see me there, remember? Tambores do Mundo, where is a project in Salvador from the Masters of Ileaie, Mario Pan, Patinho Axé, and Eddie Gato. They put together this project to be able to have all the people that like to play Brazilian drums from Bahia, from all over the world. They put together this project for them. So when you go to Bahia, you can be part of it and you have a chance to learn from them and do workshops and also parade around Pelourinho and Santo Antonio. I know there's also Karen, you there from Germany. I also met Karen in Bahia. She also has parade with Tambores do Mundo. Knows everyone there from Muzenza, Olodun, and everybody. And I've been working for all this time doing samba reggae and all that. And in Toronto, we have been getting a lot of attention, I would say, since we show up. We have done a bunch of really cool shows. And
Pato, let me ask you
yeah,
a question.
sure.
Since we have already introduced everybody,
Mhm.
we can actually start a discussion panel. So I was wondering, since you work in Toronto, which is primarily a community that is not Brazilian, and when you bring these Brazilian rhythms to a community that's not Brazilian, and you have them rehearsing and playing, um, what what's the challenge that you think you have to face and explore of learning the Brazilian style from a foreign perspective versus being a native and a person that you grew up listening to all that thing? Do you think they
Well,
have any level of difficulty that's higher than the Brazilians themselves?
yeah, I would say so. It wasn't easy in the beginning, and it's still not easy until today. Because I don't know, in my experience, for example, when I had this group in Chile, an example, I had this group in Chile. They were so into it, and they were trying to learn as much as they could. That at some point we were playing in a level of like I could give one look and they would know what to do, right? Here in Toronto is being hard from the beginning, which means you have to rehearse way more. And we actually don't have much time to rehearse here because it's expensive to rent a studio and keep your drums. We all know that story. We all struggle with that.
Uh-huh.
So the space that we have is pretty expensive, but it's a good space. And we only have 2 hours a week, which is nothing. You
Do
know,
you think
imagine.
they have a high level of difficulty getting the groove right?
Yeah, I would say in the beginning, yes. But today, I would say they're better in a way of they understand more the music, especially after we did a trip to Salvador this year, right? I took my crew there. We did a bunch of workshops with different masters of the different blocos afros. So they finally could connect. You understand the music. For example, sometimes I was playing something, and it would be a couple of people that wouldn't understand what I was saying. And to me, which I grew up with it was so simple and so easy, but it's not the same for everybody, right? And I remember I used to get mad in the beginning because they wouldn't understand. It's like, man, it's so simple. But little by little, I understand that not everybody has all the same skills, and not everybody grew up listening as me, that I had that in my city, in my neighborhood, right?
And how about because you're doing basically the Olodum type of rhythms with them up in Toronto. Is that right, Pato?
Well, I try to do a little bit of every block that we have in Salvador, right? We do a little bit of Olodum, we do a little bit of Iliaye, we do a little bit of tambores y cores, we do a little bit of muzenza, a little bit of malé de balé, you know, a little bit of timbalada, cortejo afro.
Let's talk to Alex. Alex, you that do the maracatu, which is maracatu a blend of African and indigenous? Can you talk a little bit about the origins of the maracatu, Alex
Well,
Polocas?
okay. How long do I have? Because I think it might take us a few days to go through all of that.
Let's keep
So,
5 minutes. Let's keep 5 minutes per person because so we can go around and round, a couple of times.
okay. So I would say that the nucleus of Maracatu de Baque Virado, rhythmically and traditionally, is an African origin. Of course, in the Pernambucano manifestation of the Afro-Brazilian identity, there's a lot of many influences. Also some European influence, but especially some indigenous influences, and schools and streams and teachers that have come to, the maracatu is essentially a modern, by modern I mean in the last 200 years, tradition of Reis do Congo, right? A tradition that was a colonial tradition that the Portuguese would have in Brazil with the enslaved peoples. But the way it's evolved now in Pernambuco is that it's an African origin tradition that's from the terreiro, like Fabio said, from the terreiro nago, and from things like that, that has been taken onto the street at carnival time. So a lot of the afoxés and the maracatus in Pernambuco, they're like candomblé da rua a little bit, which means they come out of this sacred space into a more space of rejoicing and many people playing together to celebrate carnival or to celebrate their neighborhood, their nation, their religion, their heritage. Now, this can manifest itself in very many different ways. And one part of the maracatu, beyond the Nago tradition, there's a tradition of the Jurema Sagrada, or the indigenous tradition. And a lot of the characters within the maracatu and what they do carry this tradition forward. So, I mean, if we're just going to talk artistically and musically, I think there's obviously you can tell through the rhythm and the origin of how it's executed. It's mostly African in origin, but in the toadas and the songs, there's a little bit of an indigenous element there, and also a European element as well. It's a very Pernambucano tradition, with the majority of it, if you can quantify it that way, being African.
Nice, very nice. Thank you very
I
much.
just would like to say one thing about teaching, here in Gringolandia, and how different people learn. Like, it's similar to what Pato, my colleague and friend, said, that many people, in the beginning it's very hard, but when you get enough people who start to learn and who go and have the reference of the music, it starts to become easier. And as we get the group going, they help teach each other. And really, it depends on the person, because we have a lot of people here in Toronto who are from the Caribbean or who are from other countries that have a similar rhythmic tradition. So they might have a little bit more facility and they're more at ease when they learn. Generally, of course, the Brazilian people hear it more, so they have more of an idea of the swing, the balanço, Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
If you are watching this video on YouTube, please don't forget to click on the like and subscribe to the channel, so it helps to spread the word so more people could hear this discussion. And let me ask a question to Diego Figueiredo, the bright star in the room. Diego, I play guitar and I see you playing guitar and I feel like throwing my guitar in the garbage can sometimes, but I wonder, what would you have to say about the influence of the African rhythms on the Brazilian music that we hear today, like bossa nova, samba, chorinho? How far do you think that goes? Is all the Brazilian music related to African rhythms with your guitar experience? Eu vou tirar o seu mudo aqui.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Moises, to invite me. Hello, everyone that's in this conversation here. So most of the musicians here are percussionists. I'd say the Brazilian guitar is kind of a percussion instrument too. I remember when I was just very young, I started studying the rhythms. I really like the rhythm, and I think the rhythm is the most important thing in music. For sure, harmony and melody is very important, but if you have spent time studying harmony and melody, it's easier to get those information than the rhythm, because rhythm is not only thing that you can just teach. It's something that you need to feel. It's something that's really hard to explain. I show you, Moises, when I was 7 years old, I got the guitar from my father and I played a rhythm on the guitar. And my brother, my old brother, he's a guitar player too. He never could do the same. And I was very young and I still do that same rhythm. It's something that's very hard to teach or to show when I show to the American guitar players. First, there are a difference between to be a good Brazilian rhythm guitarist, you have to play with right hand technique, not with pick, because with the right hand you can explore more things. But let me show just one that rhythm that it's something that I used to do when I was just a kid, and it's something that comes from inside to outside, like it's a kind of samba, but I don't need technique to do that. I use just my thumb. We can do with pick, like someone with pick. But if you ask someone to do this, it's really, really hard. It's something that comes from inside. It's hard to explain the intentions. That's why the Brazilian music, the Afro-Brazilian rhythm has some really special. That's something that we have to feel that. It's not that a simple way to explain how to do that, because I used to do that even without any technique. So it's not the technique, it's a feeling from inside to outside. Some other guitar players like Baden, he changed the way to play the Afro-Brazilian. So that's the way of the Brazilian guitar is inside of the I'd say the samba, the Afro samba, and it's very unique. It's very unique, and it's all the percussionists here. You know how difficult it is to explain this to the world, because it's not just technique. It's something very from inside to outside. You have to feel the rhythm. It's something more than just technique, and I'd say the Brazilian guitar, that's my first influence, I'd say. Besides, I studied jazz and other things. I'd say this is more my strong part is the rhythm, and for me, the music, the rhythm, it's the most important thing, because it's hard to explain the feeling of the rhythm. It's not just a mathematical thing. So, and even the other Brazilian rhythms, like the traditional samba, the bossa nova, has some particular things. But when you come to this Afro influence, it's feel more strong and a little more. I really like that way to play the guitar, and so we could talk for days here. So, but it's just a little things about the Brazilian guitar.
Do you think that Brazilian rhythms are all with the influence of the African rhythms, or just part of them? The old Brazilian music had African influence and the new is different. How do you see that influence of the African on the Brazilian rhythms that you note that are on the parades today?
I think we have a lot of influence in all kind of rhythms here, because in the past, the ways that the fusion of the Brazilian with African people and brought a lot of influence in everything, every kind of Brazilian music. But every way I play the samba, I put the African influence. We are playing like a samba. even the bossa. These are things that comes from Africa, I'd say. And but a lot of musicians from Brazil created different ways to play this Afro influence, even samba or Afro rhythms. But it was a strong influence for Brazilians, the Afro rhythms. And every time I played the samba, I have influence from Africa and other influence too. So I think that the rhythm is the most important thing for me in music, because harmony, melody, it's easier to get than the rhythm, because rhythm is just not only mathematical. The feeling is from inside to outside. And I think Brazilians has a lot of this feeling. And sometimes when we try to teach this feeling, that's hard. That's not easy to other musicians to get that feeling, because it's not just to count ta 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 ta. It's not just on this, the rhythm, and the Afro influence with the Brazilian is something really special that we have to feel and try to understand that before to get to the mathematical form. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Diego. That was very nice to hear.
Thank you, Moises.
Thank you.
I really needed to go to another meeting right now, and I appreciate your invitation.
Thank you for being here. It's our honor to have your presence and your word here.
And thank you for all the other guys. And thank you, Moises.
You're welcome. And also, I'd like to ask questions to Marcos Santos, Nani Assis, Fabio, Dylan, Patrick, and hear about their experiences. Also, we're waiting for Jamie Haddad to be able to come back and log in and say hello and talk a little bit to us. So maybe you can start with Marcos Santos. Are you there, Marcos?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
All right.
Man, what a nice solo, eh, Diego? By Diego, huh? Wow, that was amazing. In Moises, there are a lot of people in the chat, man, that have a lot of experience playing Brazilian drumming and very successful groups. You know, they have also a lot to share. You know, there are a lot of band directors here. You know, this is Stacy from Fogo Azul in New York. Kevin from Timbeleza is here too. You know, there's a lot of people.
What besides Kevin? What was the name you said?
Sorry.
Besides Kevin, which one is the other name you said?
Stacy from New York.
Hello, Stacy.
It's Karen too from Germany.
Hello, Karen. Marquinho, talk to us. Tell us something that you know that we'd like to hear. Maybe can you talk a little bit about that same question I asked Pato? About the difficulty that the foreign people had sometimes to get the groove and how some of them get it real quick. Do you see that when you're teaching people Brazilian rhythms for your drum lines? because sometimes I meet some American people that play amazing, like Patrick and Dylan, and sometimes they don't get it.
Man, but I see, I don't know, man. I see with another perspective. I think it's great to come from a different culture and immerse yourself into a different genre that you didn't necessarily grow up playing. So, and then I say this because it, by growing up in Salvador and listening to that particular swing of Brazilian music that Diego was so eloquently describing, I see the other way around, because then when I'm trying to play other things such as Cuban rhythms or I don't know, West Africans or even second line, it's a little harder because I keep tending to groove as a Brazilian person. So I think coming from learning later, I think is actually a positive. So then you can wear different jackets easier than if you grow up and you're used to one style and then you try to include other styles and other swings into your repertoire, and you fall under you fall under the possibility of playing tumbao, a Cuban tumbao on the congas, and sounding like samba, even though you're playing a Cuban tumbao, right, Alex? Yeah. So I find it interesting to being. I think it's very interesting being a foreigner or somebody that didn't grow up within a particular frame, and so then it's easier to fit into different styles and different vocabularies of rhythms. Yeah.
Very nice.
How much?
We also thank you, Marcos, for your input on that. Maybe we can have Master Beisola, the capoeira and percussion teacher, to tell us a little bit what his experience is on teaching Brazilian rhythms to the non-Brazilian people, the people that didn't grow up listening to those rhythms. Because sometimes, even when somebody is not from Brazil, they also grew up listening to those rhythms. And when somebody doesn't have, and some of my friends say that they think they do have a certain level of difficulty learning, and it's not applied to everyone, because as I said, my best drummers are from Cleveland and they are not from Brazil, and they are awesome. What do you think, Maestri? Do you think there is a difference on the rate of learnership of the rhythms according with the level of exposure of the people before they start playing?
That's a very important question. First thing you need to understand, of course, if I'm born in Brazil, I'm getting used to some kind of rhythm all the time. And of course, it's going to influence anything that I do. It's like, for example, I'm living in America for 30 years, but I still have Brazilian accent. I grew up, when you learn something when you're still young, it just doesn't matter, like 30 years, I'm living here. I have my life's more in the United States than Brazil, but I still don't speak as American. I never will. But one thing that's very important to know too, we're human beings, we're capable of to learn anything. So if we check them, I have a group that I teach in Japan, they're capoeirista, but they play drum. It's amazing. If you check it out, it's called capoeira narahari, but and it's see like they play samba hag, they do everything. It's amazing. Also Japan has like an amazing samba school. But in terms of rhythm, that's a very important thing. One thing people don't understand, when you say Africa, Africa is so huge. Africa is a continent. If you say Africa, pretty much, I learned that in Africa, and people, I know about Brazilian rhythm. Do you really know? Did you go to the south of Brazil and learn it, Did you go to north of Brazil? So it's like, I know Brazilian rhythm. No. It's like, let's say Africa. Africa is huge. It's a continent. For example, but if you go, for example, the majority of people that came to Brazil came from Congo, or Angola. So that you have influence. I have a very, I was lucky to play with Malonga. Malonga is a very amazing percussionist. He's from the Congo. And I was watching his class. I teach the dance class, and right after him, or after me, he come and teach another dance class. He was playing, and I saw his video. Then one time I have a show together, and I was playing samba de roda. And I asked him to play. He said, so I don't know your rhythm. I said, yeah, you know. I saw you playing the class. So he was doing the variation of the samba de roda. That was the combo, all right? But there's one thing that I want to, so when they say like everything comes from Africa, yeah, watching people in the United States understand for African beat, it's just a 6/8. You know, you gotta get a guitar, make a 6/8, they call it African beat. No, it's like the American African understand. And here, you talk about African swing in Brazil, they're playing like somebody or other, they're playing, of course, it's still Africa because it comes from candomblé, they came from Africa, okay? I'm not saying it's not, but now become almost like a Brazilian rhythm. I'm gonna explain something to you, I'm glad. Have three influences very rhythm that influence a lot of music in Brazil. One is samba de caboclo, it's very simple. Tell me if you can hear the drum. Can you hear? Can you hear the drum?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, samba de caboclo, very simple. Very simple. That rhythm, straight. You're gonna find that rhythm where? In the tamborim. Okay? Same thing, garagadum, garagadum. Same thing here. If you flip, same thing. If you go to Happy Nick, the same thing. The same thing. Okay? So this is like samba school. And they have somebody harder. Of course, sorry for people from Bahia because different people call something different names. So, okay, but I was somebody harder. No.
Alô, mestre.
So that is the tamborim. Pay attention. Pam, param, pam, pam, pam. That's the go. Here. Pam, param, pam, 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 param, 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 param. And then you go. Tamborim. Pam, param, pam, param, pam, pam, param, 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 param. That's tamborim. Okay, so pretty much everything came from here, all right? So it's just two rhythm. Samba de caboclo, you know, that's in Bahia they call samba duro, no? Because this one is slow, but it can go fast. So so pretty much that's rhythm influence everything, you know. And then the clave, you know, that you people use in the caixa, for example. I'm gonna have a caixa here. Sorry, Marcos. I know that you like Mangueira, okay? You probably don't know that I know you, but I like the Mangueira, but I'm gonna bring a little Imperatriz. No, not Imperatriz. Imperatriz is tamborim. I'm gonna bring a little Padre Miguel rhythm, okay? We're friends, okay? So this rhythm here, for example. It's like don't Padre Miguel do that one, okay? But it's really hard to do the two on the left hand and press forward. So when you people start to develop, I'm not talking about Bahia music, all respect, okay? Just my point of view. So if we have a whole bunch of people like Salvador, they have a whole bunch of people, kids learning, it's really hard to put everybody to develop the technique. So what they do, they slow down the rhythm and put in both hands. everybody can play. It's easier. And if you give a plastic stick, you don't need to learn the rhythm technique. It's really hard for people to develop how to play the rhythm. So it's really hard. But if you give like a plastic stick, you don't need to go over all these things, all right? And the same clave that you saw here. Come to bossa nova. So pretty much when I teach music, I tell music's body is just the same thing over and over again, but different instrument, all right? So, and then of course, different people have different feel. Like if you got the cavaquinho, for example, you're gonna have one thing before I go. Oh, sorry, my cavaco's not here. Oh, it is here, it's here. I'm back. So we talk the same rhythm that we talk here, the tambourine. 1, 2, con. You put here. Pam 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 pam, and you put the notes. So the only problem they have now is sometimes when people teach tambourine, people teach 1, 2, can, 1, 2, 3, so they put the one or the beat on the one. 1, 2, can, 1, 2, 3, can, 1. But the tambourine come up beat, go, bump, come here, they start on 1. So bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, bum. See, a different flavor. Oh, starting 1, bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da. Starting upbeat, the right place, bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 bum. So pretty much, oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to be talking about percussion because I'm a capoeirista. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. All right, guys. So it's just like this. Different people have different flavor. People have different information. You can see some of the old people, how they record with the tambourine always in the one. A lot of time people cheat tambourine, they start on the second part of the beat. But yeah, so that's what I have to say. Everybody can learn everything. If you really pay attention to the panel right now, all these videos talk about Afro. It came from all Black people. Look who's represent the Brazilian percussion this meeting. I'm the only Black person here. Okay, so just pay attention. It's not about being black and white. So it's about to get the feeling that go to your heart. All right. Okay. So so if you go to Japan, the group that plays very well. So I go to Japan, I go to Germany, I go to everywhere, and everybody plays good music. And I'm glad to be here. All right. Sorry, guys, I talk too much, but thank you for your opportunity.
Thank you very much, Master Bessola. I was even sitting back here listening to your show. So let me see. I still have a bunch of people to talk to, and maybe if Dylan is there, Dylan, are you there? I'd like to ask a question to Mr. Dylan Moffat.
Yes, sure.
Me and Dylan played together for how long? Probably 10 or 15 years. And yeah, and sometimes we played a lot per week. And I see Dylan being growing on this music scene and making his own drum lines and playing with orchestras and traveling with them and teaching in schools and universities. Dylan, can you talk to us a little bit about how do you apply Brazilian music to your community and teach them? How do they get along with the syncopations of the samba?
Okay, let me thank you for the question. So I teach Brazilian music to many different age groups and ethnicities, really, people from all over the place. And Moises, if I could just point out a few things just to not repeat what other people have said, which has been great so far. I think first of all, what's really important when you're teaching is that you have to have somebody. So in the beginning, I had Marcus, and he came and he was very enthusiastic with his, very enthusiastic to us and very patient, because I was a pretty advanced drummer at that point, and some people around us were not really picking it up as fast, but he never showed that with frustration. And so to have somebody who's excellent and able to show you how it's supposed to sound is probably the most important thing that you could have. And then secondly, one of the challenges is that when you learn music in the United States, particularly classical music, but not limited to classical music, reading music is often a part of it. And so I know that for many people who I encounter while teaching, they say, can you write it down for me? And one thing is that you can't actually write down the feel of samba or many other Brazilian rhythms. They exist off of a grid. And by grid, I mean, when we have like 1 yenda, 2 yenda, it just doesn't apply to Brazilian music or Brazilian rhythms as I've come to know them. And so that's one thing, is that in Brazil, if you ask a teacher to write something down for you, they ask you, what are you talking about? What do you mean write it down? They want you to learn by ear. And I think when you grow up around it and you're hearing it all the time, it's much easier to learn that way. So somebody says, go ba ba da ba da ba ba, and you go ba ba da ba da ba ba, and that's it, and you have it. So I think the learning by ear versus learning on paper, because when you read something on paper and it's very even, you tend to play with what you see. Now, if I think the best way, when people ask me, how do you write down, feel? You can't write down feel. You can only write with a samba feel, with a Brazilian samba feel, or with, an Afro Brazilian feel. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is that when it comes, I grab my pandeiro here because I think when I started learning these instruments, this is probably the first one I started playing with you. And everybody wants to just learn how to play samba and play all these rhythms. But the fact is I was just in Brazil recently in January for my 3rd trip there. And everyone, at least this time, I really was impacted by the fact that you see not just people playing the drums, you see people dancing and singing and playing the drums at the same time. And that is the ingredient that I think is missing here, because for me, and I also play bata drums, you're playing these instruments, and then somebody says, okay, now sing a song while you play. And it's just like this foreign skill that is just impossible. So there is part of the feel is being able to move your body with those rhythms. And some of the best drummers or musicians that I know are excellent dancers and also know many songs. And when I was there this last time, I went to this place, Beep Beep, in Copacabana, and they really pride themselves on offering a unique Brazilian experience. They have local musicians come in, and they have music every day for people to come and see, and it's a real tourist popular spot. And what I noticed was that the people there playing, there was a woman there, she was playing pandeiro, and the whole time she just went. The whole time, it wasn't anything special, and she sang songs, sang many, many songs, and she didn't really change up the rhythm at all. But it wasn't about changing up the rhythm and all the crazy techniques and all that. It was more of a cultural understanding of what the music is. And so I think it's really important to experience, like in Pelourinho, when you go to see Olodum play, it's not like they're playing 100 different rhythms in one concert. They're playing a handful of rhythms that groove harder than, most of the music that I knew before that point. So you're standing there for 4 hours watching them play these 5 rhythms and all these songs, and everybody in the audience, everybody watching the show is dancing and singing along and moving exactly with the music. And so I think that it goes beyond teaching the rhythms. And I myself am not a dancer. I'm not a singer. But when you can get over the fact that it's okay to sing if you're not going to be a professional singer, it's okay to dance if you're not going to be a professional dancer. It's a way, if you want to integrate yourself into the Brazilian culture while you're there, I think the best thing that you could honestly do. And when I left this last time, I said, man, I have to start learning as many songs as I can. I have to start dancing. I have to do all this because that's where it all starts to make sense. And it's Moises, you know that I'm trying to learn Portuguese for years now. I'm trying to learn Portuguese, and I'm so embarrassed to try to even say it because of my pronunciation. But when I teach people when they're intimidated by the rhythms or they don't think that they sound good, you just kind of have to make them feel comfortable and say, this is what it is to the best of my knowledge, and offer the students the space to grow into that feel and give them things to listen to, and just try to explain it in a way that goes beyond right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. It has to be that. And I think, like Pato was saying, and Alex, it's nice to see you again, man. The last time was in Paraded Circle when that was a whole fiasco, remember that. But what they were saying is that as strong players enter your group, they influence the other players. So if you have 25% of your group that sounds authentically as much as they can Brazilian, then that's going to start to bleed over to the other players, and it might take time. And so you just have to have patience. But yeah, I would just say that it's a whole language that you have to get comfortable with. And in that way, you have to know your vocabulary, you have to know how to form sentences, and as much as you can, develop a greater context for what you're trying to immerse yourself in. And probably the best thing that you can do is go to Brazil and experience it, or as Jamie always says, go to California Brazil camp, where Marcus and many masterful musician and artists have gone there, and you can go and experience this creative colony of people who know. So anyway, that's what I try to do. And every time that I have an experience with Marcus or many of the teachers, when we went to Toronto, that was the other thing, is here we're playing rhythms from Olodum, but I saw Olodum and I had studied from some people in Olodum, but then Mestre Mameo, here he is in Toronto. Thank you, Pato, for bringing him. So we go there, and I remember, this is my last story for this, is that, we have the typical merengue, right? Rhythm from Olodum. And because my group has not had many, a ton of people, I always thought that the third Soto pattern was right? And so here, to my surprise, pleasant surprise, we go there, and Pato, you probably remember this, and it sounds like that. However, there are multiple Soto parts. There are multiple Soto parts. So one person is going, but then the other person is going, adding the element to the, adding that samba element to the rhythm. And so simple things like that, I felt this big when that happened, because I thought, here I am, like, claiming to play these rhythms and teaching these rhythms, but really I didn't go and to the source and pick up that information at that point. And so I just think it's really important, as somebody who wants to be involved, or especially wants to teach, to go and do as much research as you can, and be enlightened at every turn, and never have an ego about it, and always be a student. And I'm glad that you think I play well, but when I go to Brazil and I see people like Marcus and many other, Fabio, how are you? All these other people here. Hey, I saw Fabio. I was in Lapa when I was in Brazil. It was 2:30 in the morning. All of a sudden, I get a tap on the shoulder. It's Fabio. I haven't seen him in years. And then he proceeded to inform me of the history of Maracatu in Portuguese on top of this building. We were sharing a cigarette. It was amazing. So anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents about it. But every time that I meet one of these masterful musicians or go to Brazil, I come back with a new perspective on how to teach it, and a greater gratitude for those who are willing to share it. So there you go. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Dylan.
Sure.
That was Dylan Moffett. I think that's the drummer I have played the most my whole life. All right. Oh, Jamie's here. That's Jamie, finally. Jamie Haddad is in the house. So let's move on and keep talking. Let's talk to Nani Assis. Nani, are you there? Maybe, hold on 1 second. Okay,
All
try
right,
again.
right.
Yeah.
I was so pleased to hear Dylan talk. I was so happy to all the explanation he gave, and he got that right. You need to understand in a deep level what you're doing, and the way you can understand more the rhythm is to live the way people most live there. Eat the same food, dance, and talk the way they talk. It's so funny that he really got it. I hope that I hope that everybody can get this same sense. I've been working with a lot of different musicians, many jazz musicians, singers as well. I actually quote some singers on Portuguese pronunciation, which is rhythm as well. So if you try to teach somebody a song by Djavan, it's like a completely a drum set or a percussion pattern right there, and we have to understand where the people come from, or where they stand musically, and by saying that too, I would say that I welcome everything that people can bring to the table. I actually, when I deal with those people, from the Japanese singers or Japanese musicians, singers, for instance, it's really hard sometimes to do those letters and those rhythms in Brazilian samba. But I give it to this person tools that they can understand better. But definitely, I think Dylan puts it the best way possible. You need to live and understand the way they live. It's a cultural thing. Not only start to figure the pandeiro instruments in play. It now won't be so helpful, but live with them. And yeah, so I just want to say that. I just want to second Dylan.
Dylan's awesome. Dylan, can you show us those different patterns of samba that you can play on the pandero?
Oh man, come on. Hard. We got Jamie here. We got
about it. Too hard. I quit.
What's up, Jamie?
Hey man.
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta go. I only went on to say I love you all, but I gotta go. I can't stay on. I gotta go pick up a rental car to go drive to New York City, and closes in a half hour. I'm gonna blow it. So
good to see you.
yeah, you got a good crowd there. I'm sure you'll figure it out somehow between all you brainiacs. Okay.
All right.
Love you.
Safe driving.
Até logo. Bicho.
Até logo, bicho.
Jamie's the one that got me interested in Brazilian music in the first place, and I'm not the only one. Jamie turned this right here, this picture of him, that's Jamie. That's Jamie right there. Yeah. This conversation is making me realize I have a lot of people to be grateful for, a lot of teachers who brought me into this tradition, because sometimes you can take it for granted when you do it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Three Brazilian rhythms patterns on pandero.
But it doesn't translate well on the internet.
Let's try. Don't play too loud.
Here's one that I really like playing. It's one that I came up with. It's kind of Afro-Brazilian. So.
Dylan, it's too loud.
It doesn't work.
The beginning was good, but then it got too loud and the cell phone muted it.
It basically sounds like this. That's what it sounds like.
Give me a different one now.
No, give it to somebody else. Come on, we know.
Hey, Mestre Beisola. Mestre Beisola, give me one Brazilian beat on pandero. Are you there? Yeah, I will unmute you from here.
Okay.
There we go.
One thing I want to say, when you do this meeting and you have percussion, you need to do, there is a setting because the Zoom is not designed for percussion, it's designed for conversation. There is a setting that you need to do so that it's not going to cut off. So if you go to the left-hand side, go to the microphone, there's a little arrow. And then from there, you go to audio settings, and then go to advanced. And there's a place that you just check a little, just do a little check mark down there. If you're not all the time gonna play percussion, you're gonna cut off. So that's one thing I'm like, let you guys know. I can show you later where to go, but if not, I was gonna do a percussion class this week and I was having problems. So I did that research. So when you play percussion, there is a setting right next to the microphone on the bottom part.
Each one has to do it individually for the microphone setting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Zoom is automatic for everybody. You have to set it up when you log in. You lock your microphone input volume. That's for you, Dylan.
Okay, so thank you, Dylan, to make me do some work here. All right. So I'm going to do I'll charge you for that extra job. That's my best friend, what I use for the show, you know. And this one, you know, that is for show and stuff like that. But I'm not sure to play it, so I'm going to just play a straightforward samba here. But this one I like a lot. Because this one can give like the partido alto. Let's have fun. Talk about Beija-Flor, Imperatriz. I love all these schools. Okay, thank you, Dila, for the job. I'll get you later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mestre Beisola. And Mestre Beisola is also, you also have a class, percussion, Brazilian percussion class in California?
Yeah, right now this class is online. You should go to the brasilvela.com. No, why Brasilvela? Because I like Brazil, but I also study Vedic culture, like the Bhagavad Gita, meditation. That's why I have this drum here. This drum here I got in Vrindavan, India. Okay, because I also study meditation, everything. So it's very nice drum. It's called the Bidanga. So I'm not gonna play that much because I'm not that good. I don't want to be embarrassed by the Indian guy. But that's my website, brasilvela.com. It's Brazil connect with the Vedic culture. Yoga, about so if you go there, brasilvela.com, I start this week online class. I have percussion class, I have dance class, and also capoeira class. And there's one thing that Dylan said that's really important for people that do. I always tell my students that play drum, you need to do dance. Why? Because when you play the rhythm, you need to understand where the sound is going to the person's heart, how they feel that. So if you don't do dance, you're just going to become like a machine. You don't have to be an amazing dancer, but it's very important because like when I'm dancing here, I can feel, I can hear all the instruments. So it's very important for your body, for as a percussionist, what the sound is doing in those other person's body. So I'm really glad that he mentioned about that, because you don't need to be an amazing musician, but it's very important. Try to do a little bit of dance, and just sing everything. So that connection is very, very, very good. Put this song together with it. So that's why I do dance, music, capoeira, and whenever I have time to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maestro Bessola. Muito axé.
Thank you.
We have this amazing group of percussionists here today, and all of them knowing so much and so many different styles. Like we have a very special guest, Fabio Gomes from Brazil, that is very specialized on all the Northeast Brazilian rhythms, including Coco. And is Fabio on?
Yes, we are on!
Oh, Fábio, tudo bom?
Essa live tá show, né? Tá muito.
The live is a performance, it's amazing.
That's Ana Paula Jones, that's his wife. Ana Paula is one of the first person that brought to Cleveland capoeira, samba, and what else did you bring to Cleveland, Ana Paula? What year was that? 1995?
It was in 1995. I came to Cleveland Public Theater to do a show with 8 actors from all over the world. So I lived in Cleveland for 6 months, and then I came back for 1 year, and then there is almost 23 years that we come back to Cleveland with other Brazilians, with other traditional masters, and we do the Parade the Circle celebration, which is for me the carnival of Cleveland, or the celebration art, that we have this opportunity because the Cleveland Museum of Art is very rich, and then we can bring all these incredible artists, incredible masters like Dylan, Alex Bordocas, like all of us who are Brazilians and I in Cleveland, like Ishmael, like people who I'm seeing right now. It's amazing to have this opportunity to bring the masters and to play and to. So I was very young, but I really would like to pass to Fabio because we were so excited here. Like I was like, Fabio, get the drum and play the rhythm from Pernambuco, because it's like totally different in the tambourine, like the ones that they just share with us. So Fabio, let me pass to him. It's not about him, it's about percussion. Let's start.
Tocar minha casa, amar é meu coração. Hey, hey, oh yeah. Hey, hey, oh yeah. É o som do meu apoio. Hey, hey, oh yeah. A piranha. Essa piranha que me deu polia. Segura o pão! Segura o pão! Ao preço! Pega o cachorro aí, ó. Olha aqui no meu bolso. Esse é o frevo! Segura o frevo!
Fábio Gomes from Pernambuco.
Chega aqui, Ana. A música.
Very good, Fábio. Can you play for us one rhythm specific from your heritage? Você podia tocar para a gente um ritmo específico da sua herança?
Então, esse instrumento, na verdade, eu fiz aqui uma demonstração de alguns instrumentos muito peculiar,
very peculiar,
de tradições afro-indígenas.
From Afro-indigenous tradition.
Notadamente, como muitos dos músicos aqui falaram,
As many of the musicians talk here today,
a raiz africana,
the African root,
ela é muito forte,
very strong.
né? Mas a indígena, como
But
povo
the
nativo do
indigenous
Brasil,
from the natives from Brazil,
ela também
the original people from Brazil,
deixou um legado muito
left a
incrível,
very incredible legacy
que está diluído
that is diluted
na música brasileira.
in the Brazilian music.
E foi ela a porta de entrada para os quilombos.
And that's the natives were the entrance for the quilombolas.
Não,
Afro-Brazilian slavery, they used to escape and do little lands in Brazil. We call quilombo.
não existiria música originária africana
There was no Brazilian original Afro music
se não houvesse
if there was
essa,
not that connection,
essa troca,
this exchange,
essa permissão do
this
caboclo.
permission from the caboclo, the
Então,
cross of African indigenous.
para além da cor da nossa pele,
So, also, beyond the color of our skin,
existe uma essência sonora
there is a essence, a music essence
que nos conecta
that connects
entre nós brasileiros
all of us Brazilians
e com o mundo.
and with all the world.
As tradições africanas no Brasil
The Afro-Brazilian tradition,
são mais de 30 povos.
we have at least more than 30 different communities, cultural ethnicities.
São mais de 400 etnias
We
indígenas.
have more than 400 different communities from native Brazilians.
E a tradição árabe no
So
Brasil,
the Arabic tradition also in
esse
Brazil.
instrumento chega no
So
Brasil
these arrived in Brazil
neste formato devido aos povos árabes,
because of the Arabic, the tambourine.
entende? Muito mais do que o tamborim quadrado utilizado em outrora em outros momentos.
But
Então,
we also have the tambourine that is a square.
aí você ouve o forró, o
So you
baião,
have the forró, the baião,
o chachado,
the chachado,
o coco de roda e suas
coco
vertentes.
de roda. It's all Brazilian cultural living expressions, like you have samba, capoeira, coco de roda, maracatu. It's all cultural living expressions from Brazil.
São culturas híbridas das origens brasileiras.
So it are hybrid cultures from the origin of Brazilian culture, mixture.
Machadeira, mano machado, pra cortar o pau de quiri. Machadeira, mano machado, pra cortar o pau de quiri. Naquela mata fechada, a cobra corre belo. Caju, castanha, castelo e uma cobra apanhada. Seu canário cantador, aonde vai fazer seu ninho? No primeiro pau de arara, num derradeiro caminho. Mas eu não tô nem aqui, tá muito escura, e a madeira é muito dura, tá muito ruim de cair. Machadeiro, isso é a música do sertão.
This belongs to Northeast, from the desert part of
Que
Brazil.
chega até o litoral do Nordeste.
To the littoral, to the beach of Northeast.
E para além do coco, dá outras origens culturais como reizado.
So it starts with coco, but also gives influence to other traditions like reizado, for instance.
Boi do Maranhão.
The bull tradition from Maranhão.
João mandou, é pra mim fazer, é de minha obrigação. Eu a mostrar meu saber. E aí a gente chega numa importante cultura que hoje ela é bastante hegemônica do ponto de vista de referência, porque não se falaria do samba hoje.
We could not talk about samba today, which is an hegemonic somehow culture that, God bless us, went throughout the world.
Se não fosse o candomblé.
It was not the candomblé, for instance.
E a sua complexidade
and
rítmica.
the complexity of the rhythm that it is.
Então, a minha nação, que é a nação Nagô,
so my nation, that is the Nago nation,
existem 16 ritmos primários.
We have 16, at least 16 original or primary rhythms that are mothers that goes and influence
Aí
all.
você vai para o candomblé queto,
So if you go to candomblé,
tem mais 12,
you have
13
at least
ritmos.
12, 13 rhythms.
Aí você vê, eu apresentei aqui um instrumento muito familiar para os norte-americanos, por causa do Cuba.
So I showed here one of the instruments that is very familiar for Americans because of Cuba, the batá.
É o batá. Esse instrumento, em Pernambuco,
In Pernambuco,
ele é tocado há mais de 200 anos.
we play that for more than 200 years.
Existem 6 ritmos
We have 6 rhythms
típicos de batais
from Batai,
de Pernambuco.
from Pernambuco.
Essa conexão com os lucumes,
This connects with the Lucumi, the
que é
one
a
who went
santeria,
to Cuba, the Santeria, the Cuban Santeria.
ela se torna possível por causa da música.
We have this connection because of the music.
Esse aqui é o Ilu,
This is Ilu,
Ilu Batá.
Ilu Batá.
Esse é o instrumento equivalente ao atabaque.
This is our atabaque, let's say. Our drum from Pernambuco, but is our atabaque. We play much more Ilu than atabaque.
Isso só no universo do candomblé.
We are just talking about the universe of
No
candomblé.
Maranhão,
In Maranhão, Northeast Brazil, for instance,
existe o Jeje Vodum,
we have the Jeje Voodoo,
Jeje Marri,
Jeje Marim,
Jeje Savalu.
Jeje Savalu. Those are cultural ethnic groups from Africa that went to Brazil and are still alive. Their traditions are still alive, like the natives, for instance.
E aí, cada uma dessas tradições tem no mínimo 10 ritmos.
So at least they have at least 10, 20 rhythms, each one of these traditions.
O mestre Beisola está aí. Quantos ritmos não tem na capoeira?
So how many rhythms, for instance, Mestre Beisola will say?
Então,
We have in capoeira, for instance.
quando a gente passa a trabalhar a música
So when we start
como uma
working with music
ligação
as a connection, a
de
bridge,
linguagem,
a link of
canto,
languages, music, singing,
dança,
dancing,
artes plásticas,
plastic art,
performance,
performance,
rituais,
ritual,
a gente vai compreender que a música
we will comprehend that music
ela é um fragmento
is a fragment
que vai fazer essa transformação
that will start the transformation.
da música brasileira no mundo. E
And
ser ouvida
spread
pelos sentidos.
the music, Brazilian music throughout the world through the senses. We'll feel the six senses.
Então, para um aluno hoje, ao meu ver,
So for a student
existem aqui
today,
várias práticas, vários mestres e mestras
we have a lot of masters and different
vários saberes,
percussionists, musicians,
várias formas.
knowledges, a lot of forms and different people who play different instruments and have different knowledges.
Então, para mim,
So for me,
ensinar
to
percussão
teach percussion
e não ensinar dança,
and don't teach dance,
ela não se complementa,
that
ela não se
doesn't,
completa.
it's not complementary. They should be together.
E aí a gente vê isso muito evidente no maracatu, que é uma coisa que a Ana pode falar enquanto eu vou cuidar dos meus passarinhos aqui.
So he's saying that we have to take care of kids because we are in quarantine and we have kids in the house. You can hear it. So he's saying that maybe we can talk a little bit about maracatu because we have Alex here and we have a secret. Today is Fabio's birthday and I'm gonna get the cake. I think that's the moment, Moises, correct or no? Because it's a surprise party. So I will let maybe Alex talk a little bit about maracatu and get the cake. Okay, so when he come back, we're gonna have a cake. So Moises and Alex, please. Talk about
Moises, is that okay? So, I mean, I just want to talk maybe a little bit about Fabio because Fabio, I know him from originally Afro Oshupanda, and he was a composer of many of their songs actually with Jorge Alabe and and Maria Clara, but Fabio was from that really sweet moment in Pernambucan music when those afoxés were becoming popularized and more than just something that wasn't very common in carnival time. So it's really nice to have him here as a reference, and for me to be able, when I go to Recife, Olinda, to meet with him in the street and have such a person that I know. I met Mestre Walter, which was my Mestre Maracatu, because of Ana Paula Jones so many years ago. She brought him to Belo Horizonte, and that's where I met him. And then from there, the year after, I went to Recife. So Fabio, it's really good for him to be here. I mean, he's a very big reference, and he lives in Rio now, but for Pernambucano music in the southeast of Brazil. Opa! E aí, Kristen, grab the drum. Vamos cantar parabéns pro Fábio aqui?
Nessa data.
Salve!
Parabéns pra você nessa
Felicidade, muitos anos de vida.
Happy birthday, Fabio. I just the video was able to synchronize everybody and we could actually sing a song together, but when one starts singing, the other one is already on the line. That always happens. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Oh, também tô tomando minha caipirosca aqui. Thank you very much for bringing that up about Fabio. His richness is as deep as the ocean.
I think Fabio tried to put in so much, like he showed us so much of the knowledge that he has, but I think it's very important to, I mean, what I think is such a great reference from Fabio is his time in the Nago nation and all the rhythms and all of those things that he knows, like I mean, that is what he grew up in. You know, I've met him at his house and stuff in Recife, so it's really a lot.
Yes, I know that. Fabio is one of the richest friends that I have, and I'm very honored to have him here with us. And happy birthday, Fabio. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Fabio,
Gratidão a todos e a todas aí.
thank you very much for all of you for share your knowledge. And Fabio, like Alex was saying, He has a Afro chef with 400. Quantos pessoas tem no Afro chef?
Tem 404.
404 people in his Afro chef. The name is Afro chef Oya Ala Chef. They have 3 CDs recorded.
Esse ano eu tô gravando o meu solo.
This year he's recording his solo CD this year.
Com referências da música do
With
Nordeste.
reference from Northeast
Não
Brazilian
só
music,
Afro, né?
not just Afro, but all the influences.
Algumas participações também de outros músicos, né?
With some
Eu acho
invited musicians.
Achamos importante os percussionistas também deixar o seu registro musical, né? A gente toca com tanta gente,
We play with so many people.
acaba esquecendo de fazer um bem maior que é o nosso, dos nossos filhos, esse legado musical.
So this legacy for our children is very important. Musical legacy.
Então vou lançar aí no canal do Moisés Borges.
So I'm gonna
Hey.
put the opening of my
Thank
CD,
you very
my
much.
new
It was
work.
awesome. Very good to have you guys with us. Thank you.
Agradecer ao Dila aí pelas palavras,
Thank you, Dylan, for the
foram
nice
encontros
words.
maravilhosos com Santa
Very
Joia,
nice encounter with Samba
o
Joia.
próprio Moisés,
With
né?
Moisés as well.
O Kenny Davis, né? Que você me
Kenny
apresentou.
Davis as
Aquele
well.
senhor maravilhoso.
Incredible.
Espero encontrar logo mais o Beisola aí, tirar esse
I'd like
som,
to meet the
Marcos e tantos brasileiros
and all of you guys.
que com
Paco,
muito amor, muito respeito, estão dedicando as suas vidas
that they are
a
giving
passar
your life,
através da música, da
your
arte
journey
brasileira,
to teach Brazilian songs through capoeira, through samba reggae,
passar o
through
nosso melhor,
maracatu,
né?
like a botoca.
A música do
That's
Brasil
our best.
é a música da cura, né?
Our Brazilian music is the healing music, it's the healing aspect of Brazilian culture. That's what we believe.
Então você encontra essa
So we
espiritualidade
can find this
na música
spirituality
brasileira porque somos um povo ritualista.
because we are a ritual people, a country, culture.
Por isso que sou filhos de pais negros,
We
com
have, I
avós
am,
indígenas, casado com uma pessoa tão negra, mas mais alvinha, mais branca.
they say that we are these mixtures, this diversity, because Fabio is grandmother African, grandfather German, his father parts are indigenous, and married with a woman like me, we have 10 ethnic groups, just me, and he did the DNA test, he has 13 different ethnic groups in his blood.
E assim é muitas das realidades
So
das
this is
pessoas do
our
Brasil.
reality. This is how our
O brasileiro é muito isso.
Brazilians
Isso
mixture,
nos
that
torna
diversity.
um povo diferente
That's what makes us different.
e ao mesmo tempo tão igual.
And at the same time, so the same, we have this connection that everybody has. Feel
Muitas,
that connection.
muitas das influências norte-americanas,
A lot
dos
of
afro-norte-americanos,
The
nós temos,
Afro North American,
nós temos aqui no Brasil
we feel here in
Teve.
Brazil as well. We have here in Brazil as well.
muitas das nossas influências, influências indígenas, a nossa musicalidade, os nossos cânticos, encontramos na música oriental.
So we also can find connections in the Oriental music and in the people. I didn't really understood what he said, but like Moisés did got it. He said
He
that
said that many
Yeah.
of the influences of the Brazilian music we also find on the Oriental music, and I find that really common in Brazil. We have a lot of mixes of races. Like you are indigenous, African, and European, just like me. My mom is also mixed, and I'm just the three of them, and that helps us to be richer culturally, racially. And I really think it's very important, and I'm very glad that you guys were able to be part of this meeting today, and Fabio could share a lot of his knowledge to all this bunch of people. Thank you very much, Ana Paula and Fabio. Fabio Gomes and Ana Paula are in Rio de Janeiro. And
thank you very much. And because of the celebration today, the kids are totally happy and having a lot of fun and make party here. So I'd like to join that good energy and this good vibration, because we are in Rio de Janeiro right now in quarantine. It's a very challenging moment right now. And I'm sure everybody who's watching that is getting this feeling, that good positive energy that Brazilians have. We don't know when we will be together again in shows and performances because of the COVID-19, but we are making music, healing ourselves spiritually with music inside of the house. And I really advise you guys to listen Brazilian music, to dance by yourself, in the shower, sing, and play, because that's what it is. This is our culture, this happiness, this alegria that I would like to share with you guys today. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Ana Paula. It was great to have you guys in. Hey, here we are, and we are about an hour and 55 minutes in, and we still didn't get halfway through our guests. I see my friend Patrick is here, and he has been sharing his music in Spain, in Dubai. How long, Patrick, can you hear us? Can you say hello? Maybe you want to do a short introduction and tell us a little bit of your experience sharing your music abroad.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm currently in Cleveland right now. I'm from Cleveland. I play percussion, and this actually isn't my first quarantine, because I remember like maybe 10 years ago, after a gig at a farmer's market with Moises, he said, I need to put you in quarantine. I need to put you in a Brazilian music quarantine. And Moises was like one of the first people, actually the first gig I ever played, professional gig, was with Moises at Sarava, where we played every Sunday in Shaker Square, run by the late, great Sergio, who actually gave me my first gig on Christmas Eve. And I got a steak dinner with Kenny Davis and $150. And
that was a great night. Thank you.
Yeah. And so that was kind of the beginning of my experience playing Brazilian music. But I became obsessed with Brazilian music, and it's like the only kind of music I listened to. But one thing that I wanted to talk about was not only did I like the rhythms, but I loved the songs, and I loved composers like Jobim, Milton Nascimento, João Bosco, João Gilberto. I loved all these songs, and thanks to Moises, I don't know how many songs you have in your repertoire, 50, 100, 200, whatever, but because of you, I just learned like all the great songs of the Brazilian songbook, you know, and that forced me to do the research on what rhythm, you know, is this a samba, or is this one a baião, or how does João Bosco play this song, and how, you know, and I discovered so much from just learning the songs and getting the harmony in the ears, the Brazilian harmony, and just experiencing the great like the great vibes that it was to just gather socially and play music and play those songs. And that kind of led me to percussionists like Ayrton Moreira, Nana, and Ciro Baptista, and these kind of percussionists that applied their Brazilian approach to other musical settings like jazz or funk or whatever. And those guys were a big inspiration for me in learning music and approaching music and percussion from that kind of perspective. But at the same time, I was extremely, you know, into Pandero, and I went to Rio, and I just tried to take lessons with everybody I could and really understand the music in the best way. And I just loved the music, you know, and I wanted to do right by the music, really. And I just loved the songs, and I loved the people, and that's kind of what it was all about for me.
What did you do in Dubai, and how long were you there for?
In Dubai, I was in Dubai for about 8 months teaching music, and I was brought there by this wonderful bass player from Italy named Daniele Camarda, who kind of put together this team of musicians to teach at this crazy place in Dubai. And we taught music. We taught all kinds of music. It wasn't just Brazilian music, but I was teaching group percussion classes and private drum set lessons. And I like to teach Brazilian music to people because it was something that opened up my world musically and rhythmically. and it's kind of the foundation for a lot of things, you know, musically for me.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Thank you. I saw somebody raising a hand and I didn't know what to do. I think I missed it. Did someone was clicking on the raise hand to ask a question to someone else? It's a good time to come up with that question right now. Anybody? I saw somebody raising a hand over here on the chat, but I missed it. Anybody has any questions? Maybe it's a good time to ask. I want to say thank you everybody for being here. It was really amazing.
And I didn't want to ask something. I'd like to ask everybody that you put together so incredibly that if you can share your contact information, that we can maybe create a group of Brazilians throughout the world. I don't know, but like I really feel that we must connect and keep connected. I don't know how, but maybe
how we are all connected. Some people were brought here by other guests, and everybody has. Maybe you can make a big group of everybody together. Fabio already has a big group of percussionists going on, and I know Pato also has a big group of percussionists going on. Maybe you guys could put this together and unify the two lists of percussionists.
And also, the first cake of the wish come to me, and I'd like to share with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This is amazing to have so many very well-knowledge people talking here together and sharing good moments. Happy birthday to Fabio. Thank you, Master Beisola, Pato, Ana Paula Jones, Fabio, Alex, Patrick, Dylan, and all the other guests that already left, like Diego Figueiredo. Jamie Haddad could pop in just for 5 seconds, but just the fact that he made it, he made it. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to put your like on the channel and maybe subscribe to the channel so you can get some more notifications. I'm very pleased with our conversation today, and let's keep up with this idea. And once in a while, there'll be some cultural projects that I'll be happy to invite you guys all in. And hey, my name is Moises Borges. My name is www.moisesborges.com. Please keep connected. I'm gonna call in. Anybody has any last words?
I want to say thank you to everyone that was listening. It was nice to meet some people that I never seen and know about the history of them. Also nice to see that I sent some invitations and I can see they came to the panel. Like Karen that is in Germany right now. You can see the name on, it says team, right? She plays in the group that's called Fogo do Samba, if I'm not wrong. Oh no, something like that.
Who is it?
Yes, that's right. Fogo do Samba.
Fogo do Samba, yeah, from Germany. I see Karen all the time in Salvador. She's always there learning and researching everything about the Bloco Afros. I also see Stacy from Fogo Azul. I saw in Salvador this year, I think it was 40 people from Fogo Azul that came down to play with Banda Jida for the carnival. And that's actually, that's really cool and kind of historic, right? Have 40 girls from New York come down to Salvador and parade on the carnival.
With Adriana?
With Adriana, yeah, it's a big deal. So I wanted to mention that too. That's really cool. And thank you to everyone. Alex, Kevin from Pittsburgh. There's a few TW2 players here that's listening. Fabio and Ana Paula too. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys. Hopefully one day we can connect in person. And yeah, thank you very much to everyone.
We should have a carnival party and play everybody together.
It was nice to see Mestre Beisola show too. One day I hope I see him in person.
This program is through the Caramu House of Residency. This is my last residency show. And it's sponsored by Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. And I want to say thank you one more time. And if you liked today's video, click on your like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys all again very soon. Thank you very much.
Sorry to interrupt you, Fabio just asked you to share that he just created his class online. He has 4 already done: Coco de Roda, Maracatu, Apache, Samba, and he will create 10 other more. So, Fabio, can you hear? His Instagram is FabioGomes.on, like on, FabioGomes.on. So he has a new class online. You can do it a lot, classes with him,
Ana
with
Paula,
Fernando musicians. Yes?
write the website on the chat so everybody can see it.
And Master Besola too, he has a class going on. You can, but actually he's showing that right on the screen. What does it say, Maestri? Brasilvedas.com. That's for Mestre Beisola. Yeah.
Brasil. Brasil Vedas.
Brasil Vedas. Well, since everybody's showing, please don't forget the Afro-Brazilian Cultural Appreciation Initiative. It's a program that I do here in Cleveland. You can see my logo there, Moises Borges. Guys, it was a pleasure. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your inputs, your presence. And let's do that again soon. I'll keep in touch and let's meet again another opportunity. You guys, thank you so much. Have a good night.